from Hope's Healthy Teaching Kitchen. Hi, Foodshare folks. We are enjoying our box tonight. Look at this box this week of Foodshare goodies. We've got some squash, some apples, strawberries, cabbage, bananas, kale, packed with nutrition. We got a little flyer here from one of our partners on diabetes and oral health. We also have some free testing there, and we got our recipe card. And so tonight we're going to be making that healthy summer squash casserole. And my guest in the kitchen tonight is Greg Brassington. He is one of Hope's board members, and you work for Lancaster County EMS. Tell us about working for EMS.
My name is Greg Brassington. I've been working for Lancaster County Emergency Medical Services for 25 years. I'm a National Registry Paramedic, and I'm also your Special Operations Coordinator. So basically anything of high risk rescues, as far as medical, that is my job. That's what I do. I also coordinate with the first responders and have them medically certified to respond to your house if necessary. That way they can get there very quickly if EMS unit is going to be a little bit delayed.
Wow, that's quite a lot. In 25 years with EMS, and we appreciate it. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about the squash casserole. And we know that in every church cookbook, there is a squash casserole recipe, you know, the old-fashioned ones. This particular one has 3 in it. This one calls for summer squash, onion, which I like that idea, sharp cheddar cheese, flour, pepper, cup and a half of milk, melted butter. This one calls for summer squash, Pepperidge Farm cornbread, dressing mix, sour cream, mushroom soup, lots of cheese. And so we want to do a healthy spin on squash. And the reason why is because when we start using a lot of canned soups in our recipes, we're just adding a lot of sodium, and with the cheese, the saturated fat, the butters, the saturated fat. So we're almost, when we go with a really dense soup, butter, cheese, sour cream, it's almost like a perfect storm of fat, calories, and sodium. And you don't want to have to call Greg.
Yeah, we worry about your sodium levels because sodium and potassium really helps with your arrhythmias of your heart. It can cause any kind of arrhythmias. The more you consume with the sodium and potassium, you can offset one or the other and send yourself into an arrhythmia and have to call for me to come and take you to the hospital.
Yes.
We don't want that.
We do not want that. So we're going to show you our healthy version of summer squash casserole. Now we have and you got this in your box, so you've got your summer squash right here, but we're also including in this recipe some zucchini. So we're going to start cutting it up, and what you're going to want to do is get about 2 pounds of squash, and Greg's going to cut our zucchini. I'm going to start cutting the squash. I'll cut my ends off, and then we cut them in about 1/4 inch slice. This is probably a little bit more than 2 pounds. Now, Greg, you're a farmer, right? Did you grow any squash?
Yes, ma'am. We do cook neck and straight neck all year, and zucchini.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it something that grows like crazy in your garden?
It is. We I hate to say it, but squash is one of the easiest things in the world to grow.
Really?
And we do consume quite a lot of it.
That is awesome. And do you also can it?
We do. We pickle it, you can it, you can freeze it. And you can do it so many different ways you can utilize squash. And it's great to eat it straight out of the garden.
It is.
Yeah, it's very healthy for you to eat the skin. Don't forget to eat the skin.
All right, so you're going to add a little bit of salt to your zucchini and squash because these are very, they have a lot of liquid in them. And so the reason why we do this is because we don't want a watery casserole. And you'd be amazed after 10 minutes to see how much liquid comes off the squash and zucchini. Now you can see how much the squash and the zucchini have sweat. I mean, they really sweat the liquid out. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna spray our pan. Give a 9 by 9 pan. And you're gonna layer your squash and your zucchini, and I'm gonna pat them dry as I pull them out. Yeah, squash, little zucchini. You should get about 4 rows, depending upon your squash. If your squash is large, you might get 3 rows. And I like to put some space in between them because our next step, we're gonna cover them with a mixture. And so, yeah, these are so good and so fresh. Okay, so we're going on to our next step, and I'm gonna have Greg mix up our dry ingredients. And that is 1/3 cup of Parmesan, 1/3 cup of breadcrumbs, and 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder. And that's going to be our dry mix. Put right in here. Yup. And I like the grated Parmesan cheese a little bit better. Not the shredded. I like the grated for this recipe. It adheres really well. Yes, and we have 2 different kind of panko breadcrumbs. We have the seasoned. Now the seasoned are a little bit more sodium, and then you got your plain breadcrumbs. So watch your sodium in this. If you want to go less, you can go with the plain, and you can add your own herbs. You could add basil, you could add oregano, you could add thyme, you could add anything you wanted in there. So these are seasoned, so we'll just throw them in there.
Sounds good. And remember, when you're measuring out, make sure they're even. Heaping is not really great what's on the spoon.
Yep, that's right. And then we've got garlic powder. Yeah. And see, I love garlic, so I do it. I'm bad about that. But you could, you know, if you wanted to like step this up a notch and put a little heat in there, you could also sprinkle a little bit of cayenne. Yeah. There you go. And then it calls for 2.5 teaspoons of olive oil, but I'm just gonna get a little drizzle going here and just put it on each one of the pieces, and that's gonna add up to about 2.5. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna cover. Yep, stir that up. Awesome. And then you're just gonna spoon it, yep, up and down the rows. And the recipe calls for a lot, so.
Does it make it heavy?
Yeah, you can go heavy on it. Because we love those breadcrumbs. They soak up that olive oil. You got the good fats in there. You got your cheese in there, so you're going to get that cheesy taste. And then that Parmesan is going to give you that salty taste. And we got some seasoning in there. Yeah. Alright, and I'm going to get the foil ready. We're going to cover this. We preheated our oven to 350. And that's going to go in the oven for 30 minutes. And then what you do is you pop off the foil and you do it for another 5 minutes until it turns golden brown.
Anytime you're going to be around anything hot, always remember to have some kind of safety device to make sure you don't receive any burns. You get burns to your hands. Your hands, face, and feet is also an emergency. I'm going to have to send you to Augusta to the burn center. So if you are using anything in the stove area, also make sure you have either a mitt or a pot holder so you can get anything hot out of the oven. I think it's ready. You can smell it.
Alright, so it's finished, and Greg said it kind of almost looks like a little bit of a ratatouille.
Almost like ratatouille.
Yeah, but it's a wonderful way to eat squash. I'm going to serve it up so you can have a taste of that. See what you think. You get the crunchy breadcrumbs. You've got the squash. You got that nice garlic flavor in there. And we're going to cut a little bit of parsley off and serve it with some fresh parsley. There you go. This is the best part of being in the kitchen. Taste test. Some casseroles have so many other things in them that you don't know what the casserole is. You can taste the squash, you can taste the zucchini.
I'm getting a lot of the cheese and the breadcrumbs with the crunch, the different textures of it. Yeah, so good.
Love it. Great way to eat your squash. Try our squash casserole. We have some other fun recipes on there and some information about cabbage in your Foodshare box too. So enjoy.
Okay, I'm going to dress mine up with a little red wine vinegar. It kind of makes the other flavors pop out and enhances it with a little acidic flavor.
Ooh, I like it.
But it does have that little bit of pop. I just like some acid things. If you're a pickle connoisseur, anything salty or garlicky.
Yep, my husband's the same way. Loves a little bit of vinegar in there. Awesome.
I'm going to try a little bit right here.
All right, any other changes you could make? This is a very versatile recipe, so we hope you enjoy your Foodshare box this month and enjoy your squash.
Vinegar.